before getting into the video, I appreciate if you hit that subscribe button if you've not already. Let's get right into it. So the Dallas Stars ultimately do not reach their goal. They end up losing to the Edmonton Oilers in 6 games, and they were favorites going into this series. I picked the Stars to win the Western Conference Finals in 7 games because I thought their depth would be too much. Stuart Skinner proved me wrong, and hey, I'll be the first one to say it. He has completely surprised me, and hats off to him. I think it's actually a fantastic story. And the Oilers played an amazing 200-foot game that just was so damn impressive. But as for the Stars, you can't call going to the Western Conference Finals a failure of a season. You achieve your ultimate goal of raising the Stanley Cup? No, but you reached the Final Four. You were in that fight. To be honest, you have to like what you saw from Wyatt Johnston. He was impressive during this playoff run, 10 goals, 6 assists for 16 points. Jason Robertson, while he had a little bit of a cold streak, he overall had a productive postseason with 6 goals, 10 assists for 16 points. Heiskanen with 16 points as well with the same stat line. And Jamie Benn and Tyler Seguin, who I have been critical of them at times, they were productive. 15 points for Benn, 13 for Seguin. That is good production by Benn and Seguin. And then the cog of the Dallas Stars system is Jake Oettinger, 2.24 goals against average, a .915 save percentage. Overall, a very steady playoff run. And while I will say his numbers are not great in that game 6, I don't blame him for either of those goals that went in. I mean, McDavid made a disgusting move, and on the Hyman goal, he shot that in a dangerous scoring area and ripped it high. Overall, Oettinger has proven that he can be a goalie that takes you far in the playoffs and hopefully can help you win a Stanley Cup. Where things will get a little bit interesting is going forward. You have 11 contracts that are either UFAs or RFAs, and in that UFA list you have Matt Duchene, Joe Pavelski, Craig Smith, Hakanpää, Poulat, definitely butchered that, Tanev, and Scott Wedgwood. As for RFAs, Dellandrea, Steele, Harley, and Lundqvist. As for me, I think some guys that will most likely be retained is Matt Duchene and Joe Pavelski. Well, scratch that thought, Paul, from the past. Joe Pavelski has officially retired. To scratch him off the board, I will be making a video about his career. Congratulations on a fantastic NHL career. Hakanpää and Tanev, I think, will be players they definitely try to retain because they fill a need being right defensemen. And I know Tanev can be injury prone, but when he's on the ice, he is very good. And as for the backup goaltender Scott Wedgwood, unless they believe they can find an upgrade in the free agent market, I didn't really see anybody on the Texas Stars roster that could immediately be called up to fill a backup role. So I think ultimately he'll also be back in a Star sweater. But where things will get interesting is the RFA market. Dellandrea and Steele, very good young forwards that would be good to retain. And Thomas Harley, who's an extremely promising young D-man. I mean, the Stars head coach, DeBoer, has said that he believes Harley could be another Heiskanen. What will be interesting to monitor is how do the Stars view Lundqvist? He was essentially turned into the 7th D-man during this playoff run. Do they believe he will be able to improve, or do they believe he just is what he is at this point? I mean, he's only 23. I don't think his development is finished, but does he fit in that Stars lineup right now? Now, the Stars don't have to worry about just this offseason, but the one following, where Jamie Benn will be coming off the books. Vaska, Dadonov will also be UFAs. Same thing with Lindell and Suter. But 2 of the most important players on this roster will be RFAs next offseason. Wyatt Johnston, who's 21, who's shown everything you want out of a young player. If you're a Stars fan, you think the sky is the limit for him. And then Jake Oettinger, who's currently making $4 million a year. Considering how highly valued he is around the league, he could be getting a significant bump. I don't see the Stars making a crazy splash. I could be wrong. I mean, shit, I am wrong in a lot of things in life. But if they make a small tweak and try to get an available free agent that's out there, maybe you look at a Tyler Toffoli. Does he improve your middle 6 scoring a little bit more? If you want to get somebody notable on the back end, maybe you go after a guy like Brandon Montour, the Florida Panthers. Will his salary be increased? Absolutely, but if you can afford it, maybe that's a guy you entertain. If you're looking for size, Tyler Myers is a guy you could also look into. But I do believe that the Stars have all the pieces to try to run this thing back. They have very good young players mixed with some good older veterans. And sometimes, unfortunately, maybe it just takes a couple kicks at the can to finally break through. But I'd like to know your thoughts, Stars fans. What do you want them to do this offseason? Who do you want them to retain? Who would you like to see them try to acquire? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I'm Captain Paul. I'll see you in the next one.